education in Africa today stands below the standards set by global benchmarks. With me are one of the pioneers of online education in the African space. Dotlearn seeks to connect 50 million students to online education by the year 2022. Hello guys, it's great to have you here. In Africa, the internet penetration is below 50%, according to reports. So what is your strategy to reach, one, the underserved community, for example, people that do not have internet at all, or people that have limited access to internet?
Yes, so existing platforms like, the Khan Academy, the Coursera, the edX, they are designed for people that have access to fast connections and have access to a computer, which the average user in Nigeria and other parts of Africa do not have, right? So people come online through mobile phones, and they are more likely to have a 2G or 3G connection, which are mostly crappy, and you cannot watch videos really on them because of the streaming problems. So what we've done is to, one, make our videos, make it mobile first, so that people are coming on mobile phones, coming online on mobile phones, so it works perfectly on mobile phones. And talking about what do you say about many people are being connected because mobile phones are getting cheaper and cheaper. Smartphones like this, the Technos are getting cheaper and cheaper. So more and more people will have access to this easily. All you need to have is just have the SIM card there. Whether you need 2G or 3G connection, with our videos they would work even on those connections because of the compression that we need to do. Without compression, you can have 5 hours of learning for about the cost of sending a text message. So in Nigeria, that is, because we're able to bring videos down to 1 megabyte for every hour. So that is very, very cheap for users at current prices.
Yeah. So what courses do you offer via Dotlearn?
We've initially partnered with a company here in Lagos to offer courses for the WIC and the JAM. And we'll be soon working on some of the other, we're focusing on secondary level education courses, the basic ones, math, physics, English.
So Dotlearn started first in Ghana, your expansion into Africa, right?
Yeah.
Started in Ghana. So when you first ventured into Ghana, how did Ghanaians react to Dotlearn?
Well, Ghana was interesting. When you talk about our first pilot market, which was the WIC and they call it the WASI over there, they already have this established system for students who don't pass the exam the first time that they take it. So, for example, if you take the exam in Form 3 and you don't pass, then they have this system of schools called remedial schools. And so our first major competitor, the option from which we were trying to take students away from the analog existing solutions and try to convince them to adopt a digital solution, were these big schools. But I think the main advantages of our platform are the advantages of any kind of online solution, but especially so thanks to our technology, which is that it provided our first few students with a option that was much cheaper than paying. For example, I think it was there's students who pay 200,000 naira a term to attend one of these schools. To prepare for the next upcoming exam, and that's more money than many students have access to. So if we come and say, we can provide you the same exact quality of education for maybe 5,000 naira a year, and it's interactive. You get personalized attention. You get it's convenient. It's on your phone. You don't need to take the downfall. You don't need to take the bus to the school. It was an attractive value proposition to a lot of students who couldn't afford the existing alternatives, and that's why these exams are very high pressure for students, and that was one of the things that there were students who were skeptical about using their phone to study. I think anytime you try to introduce something new, there will be skeptics and doubters, but the exam was high pressure enough, and the value proposition of easily accessible and affordable online learning on your phone was good enough that we were able to definitely, convince, our first, 10,000 users to actually try this and use us, and it's been pretty good so far. The feedback.
It is affordable as 5,000 naira a year. Is that what you're saying?
Per course.
Per course. Okay, 5,000 naira per course. So did you envisage any challenges at all coming into the Nigerian market? Or maybe coming into the African space?
For our idea of making online education more accessible, some of the main questions were, even if everyone had a library of all of the nicest online courses, the best teachers in the world making the best online courses for every student, right at the fingertips of every single student in Ghana or Nigeria, would students here still find value in it, and how and why? And if so, then the other assumptions are, would they trust a mobile phone? Would they trust a computer to exactly? And these are things that, for example, on a very human level, for example, if you are using our platform to study for an exam, say the WAC or the JAM, and you didn't pass this exam the first time, right? If you're using it to restudy for this exam, which is what a number of our students are using our app to study for, and you're a parent and you come home and your child hasn't passed the exam, and you tell them you need to study for the exam for better next time so that you can pass, so you can get into university, and you come home and you see your child on their phone, and you get mad because you think that you see your child on your phone, he's on WhatsApp, he's on Facebook, wasting his time, and so you yell at them, you take their phone away, and you give them a book. And these are the kinds of things that we knew we might run into, and we have. And for all of these questions of getting into sort of the market, or the general African market, Ghana we had chosen as our first place to start figuring out these questions before we moved on to Nigeria, which is significantly larger in terms of the market size. I think the other issue in terms of expanding and problems that we have had expanding and will have expanding is payment solutions, because our app has a subscription and students can pay through a variety of means, but the forms of digital payment are different in different countries. And so if we were doing this in, say, Kenya, it would be super easy with M-Pesa and things like that, but in Ghana they have this mobile payment solution where mobile money, everyone has the major networks there, MTN, Airtel, you can sign up for a mobile money account, and that has made it possible for students to pay, though it's still not a perfect solution, since maybe only 30% of our customers, or 30% of the students that we've talked to have a mobile money account before they download our app. So that made things easier to start out in Ghana, and then moving to Nigeria, that's been one of our biggest challenges. There isn't that perfect of a payment system that just exists out of the door. We have a bunch of different options that we're currently using right now, but it's definitely not as easy as it could be.
Is it easier to transition into Dotlearn if you're used to traditional means of learning?
So M-School, we have to think about that when designing M-School, because almost all of our users I've not ever used anything online. They've not watched a video on. They've not watched a. They've not used a video to learn before. They've watched videos, funny videos and all that. But they've not used a phone to learn, and they've not even used a computer to learn. So one of the things that we do is to actually give them a chance to experience it, right? So we try to mimic as much as possible the experience in class, or the ideal experience in class, where you have a teacher teaching you a concept before introducing to you examples and introducing to you how to tackle problems and all that. But also recommending what you should be learning, right? Based on how you're doing when you take the test on the app, so giving you a very, very comprehensive experience. And also we give you time to explore for absolutely free. So we give everybody 2 weeks to explore, learn whatever you want for 2 weeks, and then a lot of people see the value in that time.
So the feedback you get, do people kind of prefer the online learning to traditional means of learning?
I wouldn't describe it as people prefer one or the other. I would say that there's different kinds of people, and the students that we've had, I guess in tech speak we call them early adopters. These are the kids who are a bit more adventurous with technology than the general average population, and our feedback among those students has been fantastic, and that's definitely a good sign as we work towards making this more sort of open and appealing to all the general student population, for whom they're not as willing to they want to see confirmation from other people that this is good, this works, before they're willing to try it out themselves. Though I think the other thing that's helped us is, as I mentioned, the high pressure of the exam and the cost of other alternatives has made just those two factors have made students willing to give us a try, and that's sort of given us a toehold in the market into those first more adventurous students, who then as we expand our offerings, as we improve our service, will then show by example, like other students. We've had students recommending the app to their friends already, and I think that for us is essentially our plan for bringing it to the entire student population in general, by leveraging those referrals, recommendations. Hey, I like this app, it's good, you should try it, to make it more appealing to the full student population. Sure.
So you talked about expansion. So is Dotlearn now going to expand towards West Africa, or are you looking to move down south to East and Southern Africa?
Well, I think I would talk about what we're going to do before where we're going to do it. For us, we know we're very conscious of the fact that we ourselves and are as good as our team of 7 are, or our employees are. We cannot by ourselves, change online education everywhere in Africa and in the world as well. So we know that at some point we're going to need to marry our technology with the expertise, the education, the content, the business know-how of others, of partners. Whether and when that happens, say in South Africa or Kenya or Ivory Coast, I think it's still a bit early days right now. Right now we're focused still on making sure that we get our operations right here in West Africa, in Ghana and Nigeria. And as, for example, our technology becomes a bit more stable, as online education starts to become a thing, as we finalize our partnerships with the companies that we're currently working with here, for example, working with telcos, then those hopefully will provide us with our bridge to, for example, go to other places as well.
Okay, so how can students access Dotlearn?
It's an Android app. If you go to the Play Store, right now you can search M School, that's M and then lowercase and then school. and you'll find our app. Additionally, we have a web site coming soon. So if you check maybe sometime in the next month or two, you'll see a web version of our software as well, where you can take the videos on your without downloading the app, and that would be at mschool.xyz.
Great, fantastic. Thank you guys so much for coming. For more interviews or the trending business news, please visit www.footprintsofafrica.com. Stay connected with us on social media. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and connect with us on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for watching.